So hurt. Prince William's seven-word blow to Prince Harry at King Charles's coronation leaves royal family shaken. We buried Diana, but you buried us. 7 words. That's all it took to slice through the pomp and ceremony of King Charles III's coronation like a dagger through silk. In the midst of one of the most historic royal events in decades, while cameras captured polished smiles and perfectly choreographed tradition, a private exchange between brothers erupted with all the raw emotion of a family on the edge. And now, that single sentence, whispered by Prince William to Prince Harry just moments before the Archbishop placed the crown on their father's head, is sending shockwaves through the monarchy, threatening to widen the already gaping chasm between the once inseparable sons of Diana. What did William mean? Why now? And why does this moment, more than any other, feel like the point of no return? The moment that wasn't meant to be seen. The coronation had barely begun when tension between the two princes became palpable. Seated rows apart at Westminster Abbey, Harry looked visibly uncomfortable, his posture stiff, his expression unreadable beneath the eyes of thousands. He wasn't allowed to wear his military uniform. He wasn't on the balcony. He wasn't part of the procession. And as many observed, he wasn't truly present. Sources now confirmed that just before the ceremony started, in a brief and tightly managed private moment backstage, William turned to his brother and delivered the now infamous line, "We buried Diana, but you buried us." The words weren't said in anger. In fact, according to lip readers and insiders, William's tone was somber, more tired than furious, more wounded than wrathful. But that didn't dull the blade. In fact, it made it worse. A wound still open, a family still bleeding. To understand the magnitude of those 7 words, one has to return to the bedrock of their shared trauma. The death of Princess Diana in 1997. Both boys, just 15 and 12, walked behind her casket for the world to see. Both were shattered by the loss. Both were changed forever. But their paths after that tragedy could not have diverged more sharply. William chose duty. Harry chose freedom. William protected the crown. Harry fled from it. And while Diana's legacy remains in both of them, it now seems to divide rather than unite. Those close to the brothers say that William has long struggled with Harry's public criticisms of the royal family. He can forgive almost anything, one aide said. But dragging their mother's legacy into interviews, books, and documentaries? That crosses a sacred line for William. So when Harry wrote in Spare that Diana would have supported his departure from royal life, when he and Meghan sat with Oprah and accused the institution of cruelty, it wasn't just an attack on the monarchy. To William, it was an attack on their mother's memory. The fallout from Spare. Harry's memoir, Spare, cracked open decades of royal silence with brutal honesty. In it, he recounted fights, frostiness, and even physical altercations with William. The revelation sent shockwaves through Buckingham Palace and deeply wounded the Prince of Wales. He felt betrayed, said a former palace official. Not just because of what Harry wrote, but because he wrote it at all. One section particularly enraged William. According to insiders, Harry's recounting of Diana's death and how the royal family handled their grief. While Harry painted a picture of emotional neglect and cold protocol, William viewed it as a deeply personal and one-sided narrative that hurt the entire family. William never expected Harry to defend the institution blindly, the source explained. But he expected him to defend them. The family. Especially after everything they went through together. Which is why those 7 words at the coronation hit so hard. We buried Diana, but you buried us. A line drawn in grief. A declaration of emotional betrayal. A coronation shadowed by silence. Despite the historical significance of King Charles's coronation, the media spotlight lingered on the princes. Observers noted the physical and emotional distance between them. There were no photographs of them speaking. No shared glance. No olive branch. Royal insiders say Harry left the ceremony immediately after it ended, skipping the post-coronation lunch and flying back to California to be with Meghan and their children. William, meanwhile, stood beside the king and queen, radiant for the cameras. But privately, those who know him say he looked more alone than ever. This was supposed to be a moment of unity, said royal historian Elizabeth Foy. But instead, it was a visual representation of everything that's broken. Behind closed doors, no reconciliation in sight. Efforts to reconcile the brothers have repeatedly failed. Multiple family members, including Kate Middleton and even King Charles himself, have reportedly tried to mediate. But the damage runs deep, and the trust is gone. William believes Harry chose destruction, said a senior courtier. Harry believes William chose silence. Neither sees a path forward. Even Diana's closest friends are heartbroken over the state of affairs. She wanted them to protect each other, said Simone Simmons, one of Diana's former confidants. Now it seems they become each other's greatest threat. Public sympathy and confusion. Public reaction to the alleged comment has been mixed. Some see William's words as understandable, an outpouring of pain from a brother who has watched his family torn apart. Others view it as unfair, pointing to Harry's mental health struggles and the pressures of royal life. Social media exploded with debates over the meaning of the remark. Was it a personal attack? A cry for reconciliation? Or the ultimate declaration that their bond is broken for good? One commentator perhaps said it best. In 7 words, William didn't just reveal his pain. He revealed how far we've drifted from that image of 2 boys holding hands behind their mother's casket. They were brothers once. Now they're ghosts to each other. A family at the crossroads. What happens now? Insiders say King Charles is desperate for peace between his sons, especially as he enters the twilight years of his reign. But even he may be powerless to mend what's been so deeply fractured. With Harry's upcoming projects, including another Netflix docuseries and a potential follow-up memoir, more revelations could further widen the gulf. Meanwhile, William is focusing on his role as heir to the throne and his growing responsibilities as Prince of Wales. But for many, those 7 words will linger. We buried Diana, but you buried us.